In the opening scene of the movie, we see pictures of a young woman named Charlotte on her wedding day, sharing her precious moments with her friends on Instagram. Ingrid in her car, crying and scrolling through the pictures. Next, she walks out of her car and storms into the wedding reception, walking up to Charlotte and pepper spraying her on the face for not inviting her to the wedding. Ingrid tries to run away, but she gets tackled down by the security. In the next scene, Ingrid is in a mental hospital where she writes letters to Charlotte, saying how sorry she is for what happened, and she is working on herself to be a better friend and a better person. But when she returns home and checks her phone, she sees Charlotte have made her account private and hasn't accepted her request yet. In reality, Charlotte wasn't friends with Ingrid. She just once commented on her Instagram post, and then Ingrid started stalking her and made up all these dilutions in her head. Ingrid looks through a magazine featuring an article about the social media influencer Taylor Sloan. Ingrid becomes captivated by Taylor and all her online content. She decides to leave a comment on one of Taylor's posts, and to her surprise, she later receives a reply from Taylor. Ingrid withdraws $62,000 inheritance money from her late mother, moves to Los Angeles, and creates new Insta profile named Ingrid Goes West. She leases a residence from Dan Pinto, an aspiring screenwriter with a deep passion for Batman, who also develops a personal interest in Ingrid. Ingrid starts looking around the town, trying to find Taylor. She visits her favorite restaurants or hangout spots. She starts copying everything that Taylor posts on Insta. Her hairstyle, the books she posts, everything. She eventually finds Taylor in a bookstore, but she is too awkward to approach her personally. Ingrid then follows Taylor to her home, waits behind a tree, and when she gets the opportunity, she kidnaps her dog. Next morning, Ingrid finds a flyer for a reward for the dog's return. She calls the number to return the dog, and now she is finally able to meet Taylor and her husband Ezra in person. Ingrid declines the reward money. The couple invite her to join them for dinner as a good gesture for her good deed. While in Taylor's house, she starts to go through Taylor's pictures, taking pictures of the products that she uses. Ingrid learns that Ezra is a painter, and she purchases one of his paintings. While talking, the couple mentioned Ingrid as their friend. Ingrid feels very delighted to hear this. During their conversation, Taylor mentions she needs help to move their trailer to her place in Joshua Tree, and for that she needs a truck. Even though Ingrid do not have a truck, she says she has a truck and she would help her. Ingrid asks Dan to borrow his truck. Dan lets her take the truck on one condition, that she would read the part of Catwoman for his Batman screenplay. Ingrid and Taylor bond as they travel to Joshua Tree, and during their journey, Taylor discovers a gun in the truck. Ingrid says it is a fake gun and it belongs to her boyfriend. The truck breaks down and they have to stop at a mechanic to repair it. The mechanic repairs their truck. Before leaving, Taylor asks the mechanic to take some pictures of them. She doesn't like the pictures, so she asks him to take them again, and this time she makes the poor mechanic go all the way down to the floor. They reach Joshua Tree and explore the place, doing some fun activities. In the meantime, Dan starts texting Ingrid, as she is supposed to be back by now and should be at his screenplay reading as she promised. When Taylor falls asleep, Ingrid takes pictures of them together. Taylor mentions to Ingrid that she secretly wants to purchase a small house next to her own place to turn it into a book and thrift shop. On the way home, they do Dan's cocaine, start singing along to a song on the radio. Then Ingrid gets distracted and swerves against a guardrail and scratches the truck. Ingrid goes to Dean the next morning to return the car and sees Dan talking to the police. Dan is worried because he hasn't heard from Ingrid since last night. After talking to Ingrid, Dan tells the police it's a false alarm and lets them go. Dan is pissed, but Ingrid promises to make it up to him over dinner. Ingrid checks her phone and sees that Taylor has posted their picture, which makes her very happy. She prints out the post and frames it. That night, Dan and Ingrid go out for dinner. Ingrid tells Dan about how her mom has just died and how they were very close. She starts crying, and Dan gets closer to comfort her. They start making out, and later go home and have sex in Batman costumes. The next day, Ingrid goes to Taylor's and sees Nicky, Taylor's recovering drug addict brother. Ingrid instantly hates him when he starts making fun of her. Nicky invites Taylor to a party on the same night that Ingrid had plans with her. Taylor asks Ingrid if it's okay if she spends some time with her brother. Ingrid says it's fine, but in reality, she is very pissed. Ingrid sneaks into the party where Nicky, Taylor, and friends are hanging out. Ingrid walks up to them and tries to talk, but she gets kicked out as she does not have a VIP pass. Ingrid gets invited to a get-together and invites Dan to pose as her boyfriend and tells him to stay away from Nicky. But Nicky and Dan hit it off pretty fine. At night during a campfire, Nicky takes a glance at Ingrid's phone when she was putting her password in. Ingrid tries to hang out with Taylor, but she is busy with Harley, with whom she shares her plans to buy the house in Joshua Tree, which makes Ingrid very jealous. Later, Ingrid finds Ezra sitting by the pool. He expresses his disappointments with Taylor living this lifestyle of hers and being different than how she was when she first moved to LA. During their conversation, Ingrid gives a reference from Taylor's favorite book, The Deer Park. Ezra says it's not her favorite book, it is his favorite book, and she didn't even read it. Ingrid goes looking for her phone and finds out that Nicky has it. He managed to open the phone as he took a glance at her password during the campfire, and the password is Taylor's birthday. Nicky has found all the photos and all the information Ingrid has on her phone about Taylor, and he has figured out that Ingrid is obsessed with his sister. Nicky blackmails Ingrid and demands $5,000 weekly, or else he will tell Taylor everything. Ingrid is very puzzled and thinking about what to do. She goes to a group of teenagers and offers them money to punch her in the face. First, they think she is joking, but she was serious. She returns to Dan with a black eye, a broken nose, and makes it seem like Nicky did this to her. She makes up some story and says Nicky is demanding money from her, or else he will do this again. Dan gets very angry as he cares about Ingrid very much. Ingrid makes a plan and convinces Dan to follow her. Then the two kidnap Nicky. Even though Nicky's face is covered, he quickly realizes Ingrid is behind this. They take him out to the desert to scare him and make him stop blackmailing Ingrid. Nicky fights back, takes Dan's gun, and when he shoots Dan with the gun, he finds out it is a paintball gun. Ingrid hits Nicky over his head with a rod. Then they leave Nick unconscious in the desert. Ingrid admits Dan to the hospital as he is badly injured from the fight. On the other hand, Taylor is very worried because Nicky has not returned home and is not answering his phone. Ingrid keeps following Taylor through her social media posts. Eventually, Nicky returns home and tells Taylor everything. After learning everything, Taylor cuts Ingrid out of her life, but Ingrid continues to harass her with phone calls and texts. Ezra finally picks up the phone and tells Ingrid not to bother them, otherwise they will tell the cops everything. To be close to Taylor, Ingrid buys the house that Taylor originally wanted to buy, using the last money she has left from her mom's inheritance. Now she has no money to buy food or pay for electricity, and she ends up living alone in the dark. As she is texting Dan, her phone also goes dead. She has no electricity to charge it. Taylor is hosting a Halloween party next door. Ingrid goes to the party wearing a bedsheet, pretending to be a ghost just to find an outlet to charge her phone. The bedsheet falls off and everyone sees Ingrid. She pretends nothing happened and tries to be funny. She tells them she just wants to charge her phone, nothing else. Taylor tells her to leave the party. Ingrid says she only wants 5 minutes to talk, then she will leave. Ingrid says to Taylor, "Why are you acting like this? I thought we were friends." Taylor says, "You are insane, and everything about you is a lie." Ingrid shouts back and says, "Everything about you is a lie. Your brother is a drug addict. Your husband is an alcoholic, and he hates you. You pretend to be some cool LA chick, but you are full of lies and pretendings. You are just like me." Ezra returns Ingrid's phone and makes her leave the party. Ingrid goes back to her house. She is mentally devastated now. She lights up a bunch of candles and makes a video on her Instagram admitting that she's been pretending to be someone she is not for the last couple of months. She knows there is something mentally wrong with her. She hates who she is, and she is tired of pretending. She continues recording as she takes some pills with alcohol. She uploads the video with a caption, "Goodbye. #I am Ingrid." She then lies down and waits for her death. She wakes up in the hospital room, with full of balloons and well wishes. Dan saw the video and quickly got her medical attention. Dan is the reason that she is still alive. Dan enters her room to check on her. Ingrid says she feels so stupid. Dan hands over her phone to her. He informed her that her video went viral. Ingrid checks her phone. She sees thousands of comments from all over the world on her video encouraging her, wishing her well with a #I am Ingrid. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.